here's some kettlebell snatches. Cool.
So to start, whichever side you're gonna snatch on, you want the bell to be aligned that way. So it's here versus me reaching across or in the middle for it. So reaching here, grab onto it. We prefer pretty deep in the palm, so not in the fingers, but in the palm and toward the inside corner of the bell. Okay, then you'll tilt it towards you and try to get your shoulder down toward your ribs, which we call like packing your shoulder. You're gonna try to pull all the slack out of your arm and really load your hamstrings and your glutes. And then you're gonna hike it, aiming to make contact here with your inner thigh. And then you're gonna explosively stand up and lock out overhead. So I'll show you again. So I grab deep in the palm, tilt it toward me, pack my shoulder, sit back, breathing in. Whoa, too much power. Okay, so breathing options. We suggest breathing in on the hike part and whenever you're down in the back of the hinge. And then you can, like this, exhale when the hips snap and when you lock out your hips. That's good for power production, so if it's really heavy or if you're just focusing on power. Or you can just breathe nasally. That's good for when you're doing like lots of reps and you don't need like super high power. Or you can double breathe, which would be like this, exhaling at the bottom and the top. When you do that, you don't have to think about breathing in because it just happens. And that's also good for when you're doing like endurance stuff, like if you're doing a bunch in a row, or you're trying to do a bunch within a short time period. So that's breathing. Oftentimes people have trouble with the bell like bonking them on their wrist at the top. And that's oftentimes because they're not controlling their arc. So their arm, when they stand up, it's like really straight. And then what happens is the bell goes boom at the top. So we want to avoid that. And in order to do that, you want to keep your elbow closer to your body, like a T-Rex arm is what we like to say. So from here, elbow bends and it locks out here. So yeah, that's kind of the main way to keep it from bonking you. And then on the way down, you want to think about almost like doing a pull-up a pull-up where you're pulling your elbow down to start instead of leaving the elbow high and throwing it like this. So from the front, it wouldn't be like this, it would be like more like this. Again, like the T-Rex arm. So pulling it down to initiate the down part. And then for the hinge position, we prefer to do our snatches with a little bit more of an upright chest. And so this would be called a little bit more of a squatty hinge. And the reason for that is because it's a vertical projection of force versus on the swing, you're trying to project the force forward. So you could change your hinge to be a little bit more like hingy, like this for swings. And then for snatches, sit down into it a little bit more. Your knees might come forward a little bit more, and your chest might be a little bit more upright. Again, because of vertical projection of force. And sometimes people are like, what do I do with my other hand? We like to kind of go like this at the bottom and then either like bring it forward in some fashion, like this or whatever you want, just to kind of mimic what the other side is doing and to help facilitate just like the coordination of everything while you're doing snatches.